You ever just get really frustrated? Today's one of those days, so I thought that I would just hug it out with my dog, put my feet up, test out my new lapel mic, and let's talk about it. Right? So, I'm trying to move back to Australia, and the problem is basically Teddy. Teddy is my service dog. He's an assistance dog. I've had him we got him as an 8-week-old, so we've had him for almost 3 years. We lived in Key West when we first got him. It was COVID, so we had to self-train. And he has since been to several different board and train places where he's gone through proper training, as well as one of the service dog places in Round Rock in Austin. We took him up there and did a whole bunch of self-train stuff up there. He's been through the public access test, which he has passed. But Australia makes it so fucking hard. It is so hard to import a dog to Australia. Like, I get that there's no rabies and all of that stuff, and you guys, don't want to let stuff in, but I feel like it is unnecessarily difficult. So, we had started the process last year. The year before. Last year. Anyway, he had gotten to the point where we were literally like 40 days down from when he was ready to come to Australia. And Australia changed the rules. Just blanket changed the rules about a whole bunch of stuff. And they didn't grandfather people in. So a bunch of people, and I'm talking thousands of people, legit had to start the process over. And it's a 6-month minimum process. So when you're almost there and you have to start again, it's fucking just soul crushing. Now, the first time we applied, we were doing Teddy as a regular dog because he hadn't passed all the tests yet, and because he had to be ADI certified, which is like a whole thing. And like getting your dog ADI certified, you either have to buy the dog or get it gifted to you or go through some charity, because service dogs can cost 50 grand. So we self-trained and then paid a fuck ton of money, and he's done literally thousands of hours of training. So we've got that down. And we found the most amazing woman in Australia, Lisa at Assistance Paws. She has been just a miracle worker. Like, she makes sure that all the paperwork is done. She deals with all the people. And I can't recommend her enough. I absolutely love her. But even with someone in Australia from an assistance dog place helping, it is still insanely difficult. And here's the thing, like, even once we get to Australia, if I want to pop back to the US to visit my in-laws, like, it's not easy. They let diseased people run across borders all the time. But my dog, who is meticulously groomed at all times, who is constantly going to the vet for checkups and to get all of his vaccinations and stuff, if I go to Australia, I can apply to leave and come back to the US, but each time it's like a 6-month process. They need to make it so much easier for people with assistance dogs and service dogs to travel, because I shouldn't have to put my whole life on hold when it's difficult enough as it is when you have a disability, that you have to then also go through this entire process of the government just making it so fucking hard for people with assistance animals to get anything done. Like, I shouldn't have to be forced to be in one place and not travel simply because I have a disability and I don't want to travel without my dog. So it's also difficult because you've got to have all these forms filled out. I have to have doctors sign off on half the forms. I've got to have so much stuff done, and there's it's like every time I turn around there's another form that I have to have filled out, and then they keep wanting more, and I'm probably just not very organized because, hello, most people with disabilities, like, it's just hard. Anyway, it's fucking expensive because every time you visit a doctor in the US, even if you have health insurance, like, you're paying health insurance, and then you've got to pay a copay for the visit. And if you haven't like reached your like minimum number, like US healthcare, whole different video. Anyway, it's fucking expensive. Every time I want a fucking form filled out, it costs me at least $150. Now, My doctor has said if I don't want to come into a visit because, it takes at least a month to get a fucking appointment, that I can fax in the forms and they'll fill them out for a $25 fee. But who the fuck owns a fax? Like, how do I find a fax machine? And even if I can email to fax, how do I receive it in return? Hello? So then I have to keep sending these in. And I'm just frustrated. Like, I don't think there's really any point to this video except if you're going through this, know that it is so hard and it's so difficult. And they really need to make it easier for people with disabilities to travel with their service animals. Like, I get, we have to go through all of the paperwork and stuff, but really, it just seems unnecessarily difficult. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just, and look at Teddy. I mean, all he wants is to, like, sit on me because he knows I'm frustrated. He knows I'm having a day. And so he's like, just, like, I love you, Mom, and calm down. Just calm the fuck down. I'll give you hugs and make it better. But I really hope that in the future they make it better for people to bring their dogs to Australia, for them to be able to leave Australia to go on vacation or to travel or go back to wherever they need to go. Because honestly, like, I travel all over the US with Teddy. He gets on every plane with me. He goes to every hotel. It's very rare that I don't take him unless it's for his safety. Like, if we go to a festival or something, I might leave him at home because I don't want him getting stepped on. But apart from that, like, I don't go anywhere without him. And right now, it is the biggest roadblock to me being back in Australia and doing what I want to do, is just trying to get there, trying to get through the paperwork, trying to get through the whole process of, like, filling out forms, sending them in, making sure that, like, the government departments talk to each other. Because right now the whole big thing is we've got all these forms that have been submitted to the US government, to the USDA, but they have not pushed those over to DAF in Australia. And so they think I haven't done all this stuff. And it's like, it's in there, it's done. It's just the two countries aren't talking to each other. And I think that's my frustration today. Anyway, rant over. I just hope that people at the government realize that people who are traveling with their animals love their animals, only want to be with their animals. Teddy, I just, honestly, every time I have to travel anywhere and I can't take him, every time I go back to Australia and I can't take him, it's hard for me. Like, he provides things for me that, like, other people can't. And please just make it easier for other people. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. If you are also going through the process of moving your dog to Australia or any other country, especially if you have a service dog, let me know if you think it is just insanely over the top difficult. Hopefully tomorrow is a better day. Have a good weekend.